He does give us a chance to talk about trade for a few minutes, with the U.S. set to go through with new tariffs on Chinese goods as well. There's a debate over whether this will backfire or not. Lee Spiekerman thinks we'll only see benefits, while Jonathan Hoenig thinks pretty much the opposite. So, Lee, if you want to start us off with this, as I've tried to set you guys up to have a, I'm sure, respectful discussion. That's what we're known for. Look at Jonathan.
Always. I love Jonathan.
What are the benefits of essentially a trade war with the Chinese? We're going to win this one? Is that your argument?
Well, we've been in a trade war for decades, Connell, and we've been losing terribly. And the benefits are that it is a national emergency, what we're going through right now. We have an $800 billion goods trade deficit in this country. That translates into nearly 4 million well-paying jobs that have been sucked out of our country, and we absolutely have to redress it. A tariff is, to me, I believe it ought to be a uniform tariff. We just heard the report about renegotiating NAFTA. We're moving in the right direction.
But a tariff, a tax on consumers, you're arguing that's the way to do it. You're arguing in favor of a tax.
You bet I am, because otherwise it will raise a 15% additional uniform tariff, Connell, would raise $3 trillion over 10 years. That would avoid us having to raise income taxes. And I love Jonathan. We agree on most issues, but I don't understand why he and other conservatives love income taxes.
He said
have a problem with tariffs.
We don't agree on any of these. Go ahead, Jonathan.
No, we don't. No, we don't, because look, you've been angling for a trade war. The president has been angling for a trade war. And even our guest is saying it, tariffs will make us rich, trade wars are good. We're talking about taxes here. You can dress it up however you want. We're talking about taxes on Americans. And
Lee's saying that. Lee's basically saying, hey, we need these taxes, higher taxes, and that's
we're going to have to raise income taxes,
Let me just say, income taxes are better. No economist agrees with this. No member of the Federal Reserve.
The economist who got us in the mess that we're in.
Hold on one second. Let Jonathan talk for at least a second here, Lee. Go ahead, Jonathan.
It's funny. A lot of the pro-Trumpers, they succeed in all caps and all talking, but no listening. Not even listening to their own constituents. I mean, prices are going up thanks to these tariffs on soda, on beer, on snowmobiles, on headphones, on washing machines, on HVAC equipment.
We're below target on inflation, Jonathan.
Well, these are prices that are going up right here, right now. And, if you open, I don't know, maybe something else besides the president's Twitter feed, you'll read about it. You'll read about it from CEOs.
Speaking of reading about it, let me stop you for 1 second. Let me stop you for 1 second, because I think this is interesting. Jonathan brings up what we read. I was reading the Journal this morning. I have a big story in the Wall Street Journal about small businesses being hurt by tariffs. And at the same time, Gallup comes out with a poll that says small business optimism is at an all-time high. So I'm not sure, Jonathan, which one to kind of believe on that, because maybe you believe both. Maybe people are happy and kind of satisfied now, and there's an argument that optimism is peaking and it's going to start to decline. I don't know, but what do you say to that, Jonathan?
Well, quite simply, optimism is a lagging indicator. That's a very lagging indicator. What matters is people's bottom lines, and these are starting to have a very impact, not just in terms of cost, Connell, but in terms of hiring as well. We've heard from paper firms. We've heard from small newspapers that have had to lay off people because of rising newsprint costs. So if you believe that tariffs create wealth, and that's exactly what tariffs are taxes. If you believe that taxes create wealth, I don't know, that's what the leftists always say. That's what Karl Marx always said.
That's true. But that part is true, what Jonathan is saying. That has been an argument from the other side for years. Whereas Republicans, traditional Republicans, conservatives have been coming back with a free market argument. Why is it a ridiculous argument, Lee?
That is not conservatism. It's not free marketism. Having tariffs on imports was bedrock Republican philosophy, beginning with Abraham Lincoln and well into the 20th century.
Right. Well, modern day Republican arguments have always been for lower tariffs, lower taxes, right?
But
it's not.
Let me answer.
No, I want Lee to explain this, Jonathan, for a second. Why is it not? Why is this your argument more conservative?
It is not conservatism. It is corporatism. And, Jonathan, I know you believe in numbers. You wouldn't get the great returns you do at your hedge fund. We have an $800 billion goods trade deficit, a $550 billion overall trade deficit. Don't tell. No other major exporter in the G20 is even close to that. That's 4% of GDP in a goods trade deficit.
You said it. We heard it. The president said it. The last time
why aren't any other countries doing it?
Well, the last time the trade deficit really fell, if that's what you want, was in 2008 when the economy was crumbling.
Right.
There is no such thing as a trade deficit.
Jonathan,
the president says we're losing money on trade. We send them $800 billion
lost
in
5 million
paper.
manufacturing jobs since China entered the WTO in 2001.
Let me stop this for 1 second, because we're all talking over each other one more time, and I'll end it or ask you about this. Jonathan, that point's a good one that Lee makes. There have been winners, whatever you think of the issue, there have been winners and losers in globalization, right? There have been jobs lost overseas. Hold on a second. I understand that argument that at the end of the day, everybody ends up better off. But on an individual basis, there have been people who have been losers, right? There have been people whose jobs have been lost. And that's a political constituency that needs to be spoken to. And the president is speaking to those people with this. Do you have a better answer for that group than tariffs? And if so, what is it?
Yes, that the role of government is not to protect people's jobs, but it's to protect people's rights. And you know what? Pullman porters used to have a great business.
A job is life. It's not just a production input, Jonathan. A job is life. Busy hands are happy hands. Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Hold on. I understand. I want Jonathan to finish that point, because I'm curious about what the answer is to that.
A job is life.
Hold on a second. The answer to that group, because that's a serious question politically. You have to say something. If you're not in favor of tariffs, what do you say to those people?
Well, you know, we heard the same thing from the Democrats 10 years ago. It was automakers back then. We have to do something to save the automakers.
One time they were right.
It's the same exactly same thing here. This is corporatism, picking certain members of the economy, certain parts of the economy. So if that's what you're for, then you recommend.
All right, well, on that, we got to go, unfortunately, for time. Is it unfortunate, really? I suppose it is, right?
No, it's not unfortunate.
Lee, thanks a lot. Jonathan, good to see you, but we'll talk to you both soon again. But, hey, it's the kind of argument that people are having, I think, ahead of the midterm elections.